qualitative and quantitative analysis for agribusiness. So Dr. G.V.S.R.N.S. Shastri sir is here. Sir is assistant professor in management, KPN College, Vijayawada. So sir will take this session, qualitative and quantitative analysis for agribusiness today. So due to some technical reasons, we have not started by. It has been started out, and sir will continue this session. Sir. Sir. Voice రావట్లేదు సార్ మీది మైక్ ఆన్ లో ఉంది కానీ వాయిస్ రావట్లేదు.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everybody.
Okay, sir.
So I am requesting an apology for technical reason. I am unable to attend the class on time. So, sir, we have. Hello.
Sorry. Audible.
Hello.
Sir, వినిపిస్తుంది.
Hello. Okay, sir. Yes.
Sir,
we have 3 blocks in this subject. The first block. Yes, sir.
వినపడుతుంది సార్, కంటిన్యూ.
Yes. So the first. Yes, sir. Continue. Okay. So the subject is also in 3 blocks. First block. Yes, sir. First block is research methodology. It includes different types of research, nature and importance of research, limitations of research methodology, and steps for business research process. Next to problem formation. Next to objectives of research, learning research design. Next to data collection, data preparation, analysis, and interpretation of data. So this is the first block. The second block is for sampling techniques and the collection of data, that may be primary data and secondary data. Next to various sampling techniques, sample size determination, sampling and non-sampling errors. Next to probability sampling. Next to the third block is meant for operational research, particularly in PERTS-CB analysis, that is program evaluation and review technique and critical path method. So this subject consists of 3 blocks. So first we see the first block, that is research. Research is the word came from 2 items. That is, one is research, which means there is an existed item, so we can search for that. That is called research. So business research can be applied in any field of management, any field of business activities or business functions, that is finance, marketing, human resources, etc. So research means research, which is if research comes, then we think when we accept the things, there is no research. When we accept the things, there is no research. If you reject the things, there is research. So in research, we set the hypothesis. That is null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. There are 2 types of hypothesis. So by this, we accept the things or we reject the statement. That is main source of research. So research means it is a long search, careful and studious investigation and experimentation with an object aimed at the discovery of new facts and findings. Which means there are some searches there. So we have to research, we have to search for new facts, we search for new findings. That is called research. That is, next, there are different types of research. One is basic research, second one is applied research, next futuristic research, descriptive research, explanatory research, predictive research, analytical research, qualitative research, conceptual research, experimental research. So we can explain one by one. First one is basic research. Basic research attempts to expand the limits of knowledge. That is called basic research. One is when we carried out study of factors might affect the satisfaction of the customer. That is called basic research. Basic research means basic research attempts to expand the limits of knowledge. So that is called basic research. Next one is so next one is logical research. Logical research is also classified in different ways. First one is objective-based research, application-based research, logical-based research, formation and interactive-based research. So research is different in many ways. So first one is on the basis of objective-based research. Descriptive research will be considered. Descriptive research means what is and what was. That is the main research. Objective-based research means free from biasness. There is truth behind research when outcome is uncovered. That is called objective-based research. Next one is applied research. Applied research is conducted when a decision must be made about a specific real life problem and has to be implemented by someone or the others by validation. So this is called applied research. Applied research means there should be a real life problem. There should be a problem and we have to validate it. We have to implement it and we have to validate it. Next, futuristic research is the systematic study of possible future conditions. But we can read the future conditions and we make the conclusions by your report. That is called futuristic research. Next one is descriptive research. Descriptive research means it is conducted by, so I already explained this descriptive research. Next, explanatory research. Explanatory research is much broader than descriptive research and aims to explain various reasons for the phenomenon that is observed during the descriptive research. For example, explanatory research can be carried out to identify the factors which are considered by the customers to select a particular tractor brand. For example, if you want to select a tractor, so brand of tractor, so what factors to be considered? That is to be conducted in explanatory research. So actually, it is a descriptive research. It is a part of descriptive research, but we can think about the factors of the descriptive research. Predictive research. Predictive means predetermined. Predictive means we can estimate. Predictive research is also referred to the casual research is a study of investigating the cause and effect relationship. And this type of research is highly inferential in nature and requires the application and regression and correlation techniques. So there are various techniques in research. So under the predictive research, we used regression analysis and correlation analysis. Suppose in regression analysis, we can calculate two types of equations: equation of x on y and y on x. So there are two things. One is yield and rainfall. Yield and rainfall. Suppose if rainfall is more, what will be the yield? If rainfall is less, what will be the yield? That is to be estimated. That is to be predictive research. That is the predictive research by applying the regression and correlation techniques. We can predict the future. Next, analytical research. Facts of or information that is already available is used by the researcher. Analytical researching means whatever the information available is used, is critically evaluated, which means there is a certain literature is there, so we can use it, we can review it, we can study it, we can make the conclusions. Next, quantitative research. Quantitative research is based on measurement of quantity, which means finding out the consumption pattern of shampoo per week. So this is called quantitative research. Next one is qualitative research. Qualitative research is it is conducted with the collection and analysis of qualitative data. So it involves subjective meanings which cannot be measured on the numerical. So which we cannot measure in numerical scale is to be considered in qualitative. Next, conceptual research. Conceptual research is related to some abstract ideas or theory. So if we have any abstract, if you have any idea that is to be used by the researchers, for their experiment. Next, empirical research. Empirical research means it is direct to experience or observation by the researcher. So we can get the results from the enumerators. We can get the information. The research aims to establish the effects of a set of variables or others. This researcher set hypotheses or different relationships and attempts to test them and seeking proof, which means we directly approach empirical research means it is based on direct experience or observation by the researcher. That is called empirical research. So next one is nature of business research. So business research is applied research and it is time framing and it is dynamic. Next, it is cost nature. It is cost nature. Next, importance of research. Importance of research is very in case of business to understand the customer preferences, to study the employees' satisfaction, to study the market potential for new product, to evaluate its competitors and study its based brand positioning, to estimate the future sales performance, to improve productivity and reduce the operational costs. So these are the importance of research in business. So by this we can have three objectives. The above objectives are not exhaustive, and there are many other possible objectives with which the research is undertaking. So in the context of business research, let us consider the three main types of business orientation. That is product orientation, production orientation, market orientation. These three are to be considered. Next, interaction with interaction between management and research. So this is also be considered. So business research plays an important role in managerial decision making, and it provides pertinent information which helps to reduce the uncertainty and risk in business decisions. So business research is very important because it reduces the uncertainty and reduce the risk. So, so this is very useful to the management. So that is the major relation between management and research. Management and research. So the decision making process involves the following key steps: identifying the problem or opportunities, analyzing and assessing the problems, selecting of action, evaluating the course of action, next one evaluating course of action, and feedback is also, result is also to be considered. So first in decision making, in management decision making, so the research is first you have to identify the problem, or if there is any different opportunities, we have to read about the various opportunities and select which course of action is to be considered or select which option is to be considered. Next one is implementing course of action. So whatever we think, so if we have different options, we can select one which is more useful to the organization. If you select the one option, so we have to implement it. Then we have to evaluate it. So it may be success or failure. But by research, we can get the results. So which option is more useful? That is to be considered. So this is the relation between the management and the research. Next, limitation of research methodology. So there are so many limitations in conducting business research. One is questionnaires. Second one is interviews. Next, so here we have given only two. First one is questionnaires. Questionnaire must be very simple and it should be understandable. Otherwise, the result will not come correctly. So the questionnaire should be very simple and it is to be understandable to the persons who give the answers. The second one is interview. Interview is time consuming and the perception of the persons who are unable to give the answers, proper answers, if they are not understand the question well. So it is interviews, it is highly time consuming. Questions need to be well planned. Structural questions must be made. Next one is interview may influence the respondent, covers a small sample questions, fails to incorporate quantitative data. Sometimes the questions should be yes or no, yes or no, or so we give the reasons. We give the reasons A, B, C, D, E, F like that. So sometimes the respondent may have the alternative answer other than the questions which we have given. So that is the type of questionnaire will not give good results. So that is these are the limitations of research methodology. And most of the respondents are not responded as well. They are not interested to spare time to give the answers. So that is also limitation in research. Next one is scientific methods and research design. So there are different steps involved in research designing. First one is problem formation, define the research objective, planning the research design, data collection, data presentation analysis, report preparation and presentation. So first, one must have to know the research problem. So I already told when we ask the things, there is no research. So if you reject the things, there is research. So first one is formulation of research. So first selection is formulation of research problem includes various steps. First selection of research area. Next dissolve the research area into sub areas. Focus on the selected area of interest. Generate research questions. Decide about the objectives. Formulating final statement of research problem. So these are all included problem formation. So problem formation includes selection of a research area, research the research area into sub areas, focus on the selecting an area of interest, then generate research questions, next decide about the objectives, formulating final statements and research problem. Next then review the research structure. Review the research structure. So which means review of literature. Review of literature. Next one is planning for research design. Planning for research design. So it also includes researcher prepares the conceptual framework. Next, means of obtaining the information, tools of data collection, objectives of research study, data analysis, time available, cost involved for research. These are all come under research design. Next, data collection. So, the data may be collected by means of primary data or secondary data. Primary data can be collected by personal interviews, field work, calculations, next observations. Secondary data can be collected from the books, newspapers, magazines, journals, and online portals and websites, etc. Next, execution of data preparation and analysis. Whatever the data we collected, that is to be analyzed. That is to be analyzed. Data is to be tabulated and analyzed. Tabulated and analyzed. Next one is results and discussion. Results and discussion. Report preparation means results and discussion. Whatever we get, that is to be discussed. So in earlier, what the earlier researchers said, what conclusions we found, that is to be under the research process of research. Process of research. So these are even sorry. Next planning for research designing. Next these are all over. Data collection. Data may be collected in primary data or secondary data. Primary data means which we directly collected from the respondents. Next one is secondary data means that is to be collected from the already existed sources. Existed sources, that is books, newspapers, magazines, journals, and online portals, etc. Next, type of scales. So it is also very important. Scales. Here, nominal scale. What is your gender, male or female? Which is your favorite city? Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore, Mumbai. So these are all nominal scale. Next, second one is ordinal scale, less than 1 lakh, 1 lakh to 5 lakhs, 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, above 10 lakhs. So, ordinary scales are advancement of nominal scale. Next one is interval scales. Interval scales. The scales are far more powerful than both nominal and ordinal scales. Ordinal scales means like this. Next, ratio scale. Ratio scale means these scales represent the highest form of measurement is that they have all the properties of interval scales with additional attribute representing absolute quantities, which means what is your age, what is your annual income, that is to be given, that is to be written the things, the attitude, measurement, so we need that required. So here numerical scales means 1 to 7 given. First one is so extremely satisfied, dissatisfied. From dissatisfied to satisfied or satisfied to dissatisfied. First bad, good, very good, excellent, like that. So that is to be given, that is numerical scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. Next, constant sum scale, broad A, B, C, like that. So these are all the scales for preparation of questionnaire. For getting the answers from the respondents. So these are the scales. Next one is Block 2, sampling techniques, data collection, qualitative analysis, business reports. We go for second unit. So there are different types of sampling techniques. Sampling techniques. Sample means, so if you have population means total. Suppose if you take a classroom, so the classroom consists of 100 members. That is what we call population. Out of which we pick up 1 or 2, 10 members for the research. That is called sample size. A population is the aggregate of all the elements that share some common set of characteristics. So students, if you think, if you made a research on all students are called population, out of which we selected is called sampling. It's called sampling. So there are different types of samples. One is probability samples, non-probability samples. Probability samples means simple random sample, systematic samples, stratified random samples. Stratified random samples means in an organization there are different departments. If you select 10% from each department, that is what we call stratified random sampling. Cluster samples, multiple stage samples. So whereas in case of non-probability, so we have quota samples, judgment samples, snowball samples, self-selection samples, and convenience samples. So these are the types of samples. Types of sampling. Sample size. Sample size involving means determination of sample size for proportion. Next one is samples and non-sampling errors. Random sampling errors, non-random sampling errors. Next, so these are all which we explain, which we make we explain here. One is sampling. Just wait. Sample size determination. So now we have understood different sampling techniques and are already within the way you are going to select the sampling. So, which size of sampling we decided, which size of sampling we have to select. That is to be here we discuss. That is, in this case, deals with the situation where study uses means as the analyzing tool. So, estimating the standard deviation of the population. Next, determining the confidential level, decide the magnitude of the errors. Next, determine the sample size. Sample size is to be taken, standardized value into sample standard deviation by acceptable positive or negative magnitudes. So, by considering this formula, we have to select the sample size. Suppose if you take class intervals, so we get the lowest number and highest number. Suppose if we take the samples for we have if we make the class intervals for a students in a class, that is 60. So the total marks is 0 to 100, 0 to 100. If you make the 0 to 100 into class intervals, so we use the formula 0 to 100 by. So say if you want 10 members, 10 gap divided by 10. If you get 20 gap divided by 20, like that, we have the formula for determining the sample size. That is, N is equal to ZS by E whole to the power of 2. That is 8. So, by this formula, we can get the sample size. Next, next sample size. Errors, sampling errors. Next one is data collection. Data collection of data is of two types. One is primary data and secondary data. Primary data may be collected in personal interviews, telephone or mobile surveys. So this is most popular nowadays. There are 5 types. In earlier olden days, we have 5 types of primary data collections. Now it is most of the researchers collect the data by means of telephone and mobile surveys. So that's why that is given here. So enumerators are in olden days. Enumerators are sent to the public and they collect from the public. So we see so many enumerators come to our home and ask which soap is used by you, why this soap is preferable, what are the qualities of the soap like that. So that is called personal literature. So the second one is telephone and mobile survey. So the questionnaire is sent by researcher to the related groups, and he can get the answer. Then he can survey it. He can research it. The next one is secondary data. Secondary data means it is the data which is available in the market by means of books, by means of books, or by means of which means financial statements of an organization, next and others. So there are internal source and external source. External source means books and periodicals, government statistics, trade associations, commercial sources, national and international institutions. So there are certain statistical institutions are there for supplying the data. So in internal sources, so we can get from the organization. Suppose if you get the salary structure in the organization, next we can get the productive performance. Next, if you want to get the sales data, so everything is to be get from the organization. So that's why that is called internal source. Next, so the data is under two ways. That is instruments used for collection of primary data, personal interviews, telephone and mobile interviews, self-administrated questionnaires, observation methods, focus groups discussion. So by this we collect the primary data. Next, for getting responses from the respondent, so one must have to prepare questionnaire. So for questionnaire, for valid questionnaire, we have to validate the questionnaire, which means first we have to prepare questions and send to sample survey, sample get the samples. If there is any remarks or if there is any difficulties, so we can rearrange the questionnaire. So that is called validation of questionnaire. Next one is data editing, omissions, ambiguities, inconsistencies, data coding. So like that, these are all in questionnaire. So data tabulation is very important. So this is frequency distribution. Frequency distribution means, suppose if the person gets 10 to 0 to 10 marks, how many will get the 0 to 10 marks? Next to 10 to 20, how many will get 10 to 20 marks? How many will get 30 to 40 marks, like that? So we use tally marks and get the frequency table, then get the frequency table. So this frequency table is not understandable by all the persons. So in society there are laymen. So that's why. So for making understandable, so the data is to be presented by means of charts and diagrams. So this is what we call a bar diagram. So bar diagram means the gap between two bars must be equal, and bars may be vertical or horizontal. Next, it should be numerical values. It should have numerical values. So the width of the bars must be equal. So that is to be these are the conditions to preparing bar diagrams. So next one is pie chart. Pie chart means it's called broken diagram. It is broken diagram. This is also known as broken diagram. So So this is new frequency distribution. This is frequency distribution. So this is what we call the histogram. Histogram. Histogram means if we add all the bars, that is called histogram. This is called frequency graph also. This is also known as frequency graph. So if you get the middle of the histogram, if we add the middle of the histogram, that is called frequency polygon. Frequency polygon. So this is called Votive curves. The data is to be interpreted by Votive curves. Votive curves means the data is cumulative. Cumulative. Suppose, for example, the first one frequency is 2, the second one is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. Next one is third frequency is 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. Like that, we can accumulate the frequency and we draw in a graph paper that is called Votive curves. That is called Votive curves. Votive curves. Next, this is called dotted lines. This is called dotted lines. Next, this is not used. Next, so these are the presentation, graphic presentation of data, graphic presentation and diagrammatic presentation of data. That is diagrammatic presentation of data. Next, we go for, so these are the models for presentation. So this is bar diagram, this is bar diagram, this is dotted lines, dotted lines, like that. Next one is quantitative techniques. So measures of central tendency, mean, median, mode, range, mean deviation, standard deviation, coefficient of variation, correlation, regression, dummy variable analysis, functional analysis, factor analysis. Next, principal component analysis. So these are all statistical analysis, quantitative techniques. So first one is mean, median, mode, called measures of central tendency. So range, mean deviation, standard deviation, quartile deviation, coefficient of variation is called measures of dispersion. Correlation and regression is another one. So the others are other methods. So first one is mean. Central tendency means mean means average of the mean means average of the data. Average of the data. Suppose if you want to get the mean, median, mode for the given data, of 30 people, one must have to prepare it in this frequency table. In this frequency table, so the lowest one is I think 40. Highest one is 89. So here by this class interval observation, we can get the lowest number is 40, highest number is 89. So if you want to get 5 or 6 class intervals, we can divide it into divide it. So that's why 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, 70 to 80, 80 to 90, like that. So this is called inclusive method. Inclusive method. If the exclusive method means the upper limit becomes the lower limit, that is called inclusive method. If upper limit goes, lower limit does not equals, this is called exclusive method. So by this we can prepare frequency table. So 46 is between 40 to 49, 78 is in between 70 to 79, 83 is in 80 to 89, like that. We write tally marks. Tally marks. These are all called tally marks. If we want to mark the fifth number, we have to record a side line. So we group it. We group it like this. Like this. Next one is 54. 54 means between 50 to 59. 43 between 40 to 49, like that. So by adding all these symbols, I mean number tally marks, we get the frequency. We get the frequency. In case of mean, arithmetic mean, the formula is sigma m by n, sigma m by sigma mf by n, mf by n. M means we have to calculate mid values. Mid values. Mid values means lower limit plus upper limit by 2. 40 plus 49 by 2, that is 44.5. 50 plus 59 by 2, that is 54.5. 60 plus 69 by 2, that is 64.5, like that. So, sigma fx by m, f into x, frequency is multiplied by mid value, then we get the results. By adding all this, we get sigma fx. So this is called sigma f. So for getting mean, sigma mf by m. Sigma mf by mean value is equal to sigma mf by n. Mf by n means 1995 by 30. That is mean value. Suppose if we want to get the median, so we have to accumulate it. We have to accumulate it. For example, 5 plus 6, 11, 11 plus 4, 15, 15 plus 8, 23, 28 plus 7 is 30. So here we apply sigma, m is equal to n plus 1 by 2 get the item. So here it is, sorry, here it is, here it is this continuous series. Here it is continuous series, in continuous series. So we apply n plus n by 2 item. N by 2 item is 15. 15 will be the cumulative frequency of 15. So the median class will be 60 to 69. So we can apply interpolation formula, that is L1 plus L2 minus L1 by F1 into F minus C. By this formula, we ascertain median value. Median value. So that what we get median value. So here the above data is interpreted by means of polygon. By means of polygon. Next, so polygon means what we said, midpoints. Midpoints. First one is 44.5. Second one is 54.5. Next one is 64.5. 74.5. Next one is 84.5. 84.5 like that. So that is to be histogram 44, 54, 64, 74, 84. Next, ogive curves. Ogive curves means cumulative curves. Cumulative curves are, say, cumulative frequency 5, 11, 15, 23, 30. Like that, 5, 11, 15, 24, 30, like that. This is called ogive curves. Ogive curves means cumulative frequency curves. So here, see, this is called mean. Mean means sigma m by n. Sigma m by n. M by n is sigma x by n. So there are different notations by different authors. Median. Median means it is the middle point. It is also middle point. So in case of median, we use n plus 1 by 2th item. In case of individual and discrete series, whereas it is in continuous series, we use n by 2th item. N by 2th item. Sorry, n by 2th item. Mode. This is noted by Z, which means Z is introduced modal value. So for mode means a number which occurs maximum time is called modal value. The number which occurs maximum time is called modal value. For this we prepare grouping table and analysis table. Grouping table and analysis table. Next, grouping table and analysis table, and then apply the interpolation formula, that is L1 plus F1 minus F2, F1 minus F0 by 2F1 minus F0 minus F2 into L2 minus L1. L2 minus L1 is also known as class interval difference. So these are the methods of central tendency, that is median, mode. So there is another mathematical calculations is also there, that is geometric mean and harmonic mean. That is not Hello. Good afternoon. Hello.
Sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. In
Sir. Next one is
okay, sir. Continue.
Continue, sir. Break this one, sir. 5 minutes. Next.
Alage, sir. No problem.
Correlation. Correlation means relation between two variables. So this correlation may be of different kinds. One is positive correlation and negative correlation. Next one is linear correlation, non-linear correlation, simple correlation, and multiple correlation. If the given values are flows in same direction, that is called positive correlation. Or if it is same direction, it is called positive correlation. For example, X variable 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 like that. Y variable 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So in X and Y, in two variables, the values are go on increasing, which means these two are in same direction. That is what we call positive correlation. So if the values are in different way, for example, X series 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, whereas in case of Y variable, the values are 100, 90, 80, 70, 60. So that is the values in both the observations flows in different direction. That is, the results will be the minus value. The results will be the minus value. So that's why it is called negative correlation. Negative correlation. So here we have to observe the correlation must be -1 to +1. That is very, very important. The range of correlation is -1 to +1. Next, simple correlation and multiple correlation. If you made correlation between two variables, it is called simple. If you made correlation for more than two, that is called multiple correlation. Next, another one is linear correlation. Linear correlation means the degree of x variable equals the change, the degree of change in x variable is equivalent to degree of change in y variable. That is called linear correlation. If it differs, that is called non-linear correlation. So these are the types of correlation. So for that we have to assert correlation is ascertained by this formula, that is sigma x dx dy into n minus sigma dx into sigma dy by square root of sigma dx square into n minus sigma dy into square root of sigma dy square into n minus sigma dy whole square. So here I add d for the given formula in the material. So n sigma xy minus sigma x sigma y. So I used to add d. D means dx means deviations of x. Y means deviations of y. Dx square means deviations of squares of deviations of x variable, squares of deviations of y variable, like that. So by using this formula, we calculate correlation. So see x variables 56, 44, 62, 41, 70, etc. So these are the 5 variables. So first we have to ascertain deviations. So here they directly approached it. So dx square 56 into 56, like the dy y square dx dy. So by multiplying these two, the results will come. So the formula is 10 into sigma dx dy 896.02 minus sigma dx 572 into sigma dy is equal to 15.58 by square root of 10 into sigma dx square, that is 33,684 minus sigma dx whole square, that is 572 whole square, into 10 into sigma dy square, that is equal to 24.31 minus sigma dy whole square, that is 15.58 whole square. By simplifying all this, we get 0.76. So here we get a positive value. So that's why we conclude that this is positive correlation. This is called positive correlation. If it comes to minus value, that is called negative correlation. That is called negative correlation. Next one is regression. This was regression means we can estimate by this regression. For example, under this regression, we ascertain regression equations, two regression equations. Regression equation of x on y, which means we know the x value. In case of y, is another equation, regression equation of y on x. So by this we ascertain y value. So by this regression equation, we can ascertain the future values also. So this is useful for predictive research. Predictive research. So by observing regression means we have to consider an example. Tall fathers have tall sons. Tall fathers have tall sons. But the average tall sons average is less than the tall father's average. Tall father's average. Next, in another one, short fathers have short sons. Short fathers have short sons. And the average of short sons is higher than the average of short fathers. So this is called regression. Regression is to regret, to redact. So that is what we call regression. So a mathematician observed this example, consider this example to explain the regression. Under this, we ascertain two regression equations, that is equal to y is equal to a plus bx. This is the equation. Next one is we can ascertain these regression equations. You can observe this x is equal to y minus xy is equal to byx into x minus ax. This is one equation. Another one is x minus ax is equal to bxy into y minus ay. Ay means arithmetic mean of y. By this we ascertain x equation and y equation. By interpreting the predictive value, we can ascertain the x value or y value. X value or y value. Next, this is also to be ascertained by means of standard deviation. Standard bxy means bxy means r into sdx by sdy. Byx is equal to r into sdy by sdx. So we have to consider it. So multiple regression. So it is purely mathematical item. Dummy variable analysis, factor variable analysis. So these are not used in this research. So this is second one. Next, observation method, structural and unstructural observation, participation and not participation observation, interview method, questionnaire method, case study method, projective techniques. So these are the quantitative techniques which we use under research. Interview method, చెప్పుకున్నాం interview method already. Structural interview, unstructured interview, next focused interview. So we already know this. So interview method, we get the data by interview method. Next questionnaire method. So this is also what we learned earlier. That is, questionnaire method is used for getting the responses from the respondent. So the advantage of questionnaire method is it requires lesser time and cost, suitable for large samples in large geographical area. Field level investigators are not required. Personal bias of interview will not matter. Respondents can comfortably fill up the questionnaire. So we send the questionnaire and we get the answers from the respondents. So this is called questionnaire method. So in interview method, we approach the respondent and we get the responses by asking question by question, question by question, question by question. So under this interview method, the results which we get is correct. Mostly the response is accurate. Next, it is costly. It is costly. Next, if any confusion, if any confusion in the respondent, so the enumerator will correct it. Next, you can get the responses as well. Sometimes the interviewer can observe the respondents and get their reactions also. So this is very useful for statistical analysis. Next, it involves more time and cost. For example, so we have to pay for each enumerator for their each outcome. For example, if we give 100 questionnaires to the enumerator, he approached the 100 respondents and get the answers. So by spending nearly 15 minutes or half an hour, or sometimes it may 1 hour in particular respondent, so it becomes costly and it is time consuming. If respondent is not aware of the things, he has to guide it and he has to get the uh, response from the respondent. So it is not suitable for large geographical area. It is suitable for limited area. Say, if you get the answers from the students of the, if you take interview for the student community, we can get the respondents for Krishna district or maybe for Vijayawada. So for that it is useful. If you across the Vijayawada city, it becomes costly and it is not suitable for the statewide or countrywide or internationally. Next, selection and training and supervision of field staff is a big job. So we give the questionnaires to the enumerators. So for that we need to give training to the enumerators. Sometimes the enumerators may, so here there is a possibility the enumerators will get the answers by their own by putting tick marks in each and every questionnaire without approach the respondent. So this is done in the research as well. So if we comes to analysis, if it comes to analysis, we have to found it. We have to found it. So in one questionnaire, they are positively responding. Next, the same results is to be given in the 20th question or 24th question. But the results, the answer in 24th question is not reflecting to the first question or second question, which means they are not properly answered. Suppose if you get the personal interview, so the results will be the same. Whatever said earlier, that is to be synchronized with the another question which is far from the first question. Otherwise, if we bluntly putting tick marks, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it is not synchronized the first answer with the latter answer. So this is to be done by the staff, field staff. So that's why field staff requires selection and training, and supervision is also required. Why? Because they are doing by their own in their home houses and simply submit it to the evening. So that's why proper results will not occur by interview method. That is also difficulty under interview method. So this is questionnaire method. It is very useful. It is timeless and costless method. It is suitable for all geographical areas. Next, we can send it by post, or we can send it by mail or anything. We send it and we get the results. That is very easy. No training is required. No training, no respondents, no enumerators are required. No training to the enumerators are also required. Next, so here sometimes the difficulties in questionnaire method is if question is not understood by the respondent, simply he can leave it or he or she can leave it. So sometimes the questions may misinterpret. So sometimes the researcher cannot get the clear response from the respondents. So this is the another one. Case study method. So this is the another one. Steps in conducting a case study. Case study method is newly introduced method. So this is also used in conducting research. So the steps in case study is recognizing and determining a case to be studied, collection of data, evaluation and analyzing of data, conclusion and preparation of report. So these are all included in the case study method. So case study depends what are the advantages of case study method. Case study depends our perception and give us a clear insight into the life. It gets at the behavior directly and not by indirect and abstract approach. One of personal experiences which reveal people's inner feelings, motivate, drive them to the action along with the focus. The direct one to adopt a certain pattern of behavior. So these are the advantages. Every method having some advantages and disadvantages. Next, projective techniques. Projective techniques. So projective techniques means are the indirect and unstructured methods. Investigators which involve making an individual respond to relative unstructured and ambiguous stimuli through which the person tends unconsciously to project a part of his or personality and in the process reveals in the inner mind. Projective techniques means so there should be a data, there should be a certain data. So this data, by observing the trend of the data, so the researcher can predict the predict the future. That is whatever the inner mind sets, researcher inner mind sets. So we can make the conclusions. So by this we cannot get the proper results, proper conclusions by conducting this projective techniques. So that is to be, I think, in that is the disadvantages of the projective method. Information collected may have lower validity and lower reality. Whatever in his mind, that is to be implemented. So that's why. So the collected information may be low validity and low reality. Hmm? Risk of interpretation bias. So that is the difficulty of this one. Next, business report. Business report. Business report. So report writing. Report writing. What are the steps in preparation of business report? Consider the target audience, collect and organize the needed information, analyze the evaluate the supporting information, determine the solution, finding and recommendation, determine the layout of the report. So first, determining the purpose of the report. Next, considering the audience or readers of the report. Next one is collect and organize the needed information. Next, organization of information, analyze and evaluating supporting information. Next, determine the solution, finding and recommendations. These are the steps in report writing. Suppose if you want to write a report, first you have to determine the purpose of the report. Purpose of the report. In order for the readers to understand why the report is written, the purpose of the report should be written in the beginning. What is the object of preparing this report? That is to be very important. That is to be clearly presented either as a statement or a question. Purpose is to be clearly mentioned. It should not be too general or vague. A clearly defined purpose will help to maintain a thread of continuity throughout the report in the sense that subsequent steps are aligned with the purpose of the report. Considering the audience or readers of the report. So, first we have to know the target audiences. Who are the readers of this report? Who are the readers of this report? First, we have to observe the to whom it is required. To whom it is required. So, relevance of business information, their ability to comprehend the report, position in the organization, knowledge of and purpose of the report, authority to make the decision based personal characters. Like next one is collect and organize the needed information. Collection means only collection of data that includes primary data and secondary data. Next, organize the data. First, you have to collect it, and we have to organize it. Preparation of tabulation. Next, if it is small samples and long samples, there are so many statistical techniques are there. That is correlation technique, standard deviation technique, regression technique, t-test, z-test, chi-square test, ANOVA table, and others. That is to be made. Next, analyze and evaluate the supported information. Next, you have to analyze and results the data. Whatever results we have get, that is to be discussed. That is to be discussed. Next, we have to make the conclusions. We have made the conclusions. Whatever we get the solutions, what are the findings, what are the recommendations. Whatever we recommend is to be given to the organization. So the organization will follow. If there is any good things, that is to be followed by the organization. That should be followed by the organization. So, by preparing business report, suppose if you prepare a finance report, or if you prepare a market research report, if you prepare a wage analysis of wage structure report, so these are all which will give the conclusion to an organization. For example, if you give conclusions to Vijayawada or any other organization, so if there is any acceptable things, if any if any, are to be useful things that is to be followed by the organization. So that's why every researcher has to give their report to the organization on which it is made. So that is the steps in preparation of report, layout of business report. So title page, letter of transmittal, table of contents, next list of figures, next summary, introduction. So this is the contents of report. This is very, very important. There should be, while preparing a report, there should be an introduction, review of literature, next to that is results and discussion, statistical analysis, results and discussion, conclusion, etc. So by this we have to see in the contents of the report, title page, letter of transmission, covering letter, table of contents. So we have different types of tables. We give the numbers, table 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. For if there are different chapters, we give 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, like that. If you have, if you prepare another chapter table, so you have to give 2.1, 2.3, 2.2, 2.3, like that. If we have third chapter, there are tables 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, like that. Suppose if you prepare any broken diagrams or bar diagrams, so that will be called figure. That will be called figures. So such figures are also be mentioned. F1.1, F1.2, F1.3. Each table must have figure. So the figures also be numbered. So if it is a table T 1.1, there's a tab 1.1, tab 1.2, tab 1.3, like that. So if it is figures, F1.1, F1.2, F1.3, like that. If it is second chapter, tab 2.1, 2.3, 2.3, like that. In case of figures, F1, 2.1, F2.2, 2.3, like that. So we have to prepare list of figures. Next to summary. So introduction, methodology, research design, sample design, data collection and field work. Next to data analysis. So analysis and discussion. Analysis and discussion. That is very, very important part. Methodology is also important. What method do you use? So is it the obtained information maybe in primary data or by secondary data? Under what way it is to be collected? That is to be mentioned in methodology. Next, research designing. Next, everything is to be. Next, research findings. Next one is research findings. What we found by making the research. So that is to be given. Next one is conclusions. Conclusions includes suggestions also. Conclusions include suggestions also. So there is no separate chapter for suggestions. So some of the researchers give suggestions and conclusions. No, suggestions is the part of conclusion. So we cannot give put a heading for suggestions and conclusions. So conclusions include suggestions. So under what way we give the suggestion? So if organization gives the if organization gives money for research, we can give it as suggestion. Otherwise, if research institutions will give, for example, UGC gives the amount for research, ICSSR institution gives the amount for research. So in such a way, we give conclusions. We send it to the organization. So the conclusions include suggestions. Those suggestions may or may not follow the organization. If the suggestions are good, they follow. Otherwise, they keep quiet. Next, recommendations. Next to bibliography. From what do we get the information in the research? From what source we can get it? That is list of books, list of articles. Next to list of referred journals. Next to list of the papers submitted made by the earlier authors. That is to be mentioned in the bibliography, or any websites. If we go to the websites, that is to be mentioned in this bibliography. So there are different methods of showing this bibliography. This depend upon the layout of the magazines. If you refer it to UGC journals or referred journals, so according to their style of bibliography, we have to make it. So there are standard, there are different methods of showing the bibliography. So it should be in alphabetical order. So we have to follow it. In some organizations or some universities, they give the bibliography under each page, references under each page, references under each page. So next, appendix. If you prepare questionnaire for this research, that is to be kept in appendix. That should be kept in appendix. Suppose sometimes if you made any data charts, tables, diagrams, articles, that is also be mentioned in the these appendix. So this is the structure of that is called structure of business report. Structure of business report. Next, structure of silent features of good report writing. So, good report writing must contain accuracy, objectivity. Next to we already mentioned it, graphs, tables. Next to table numbers. So remember, I already mentioned it. Table numbers, title, subheadings, footnotes, sources of notes. So these are all to be mentioned here. So this is the example for table of report. Table of report, charts, figure number, table number, like that. This is the source. National Account Statistics. This is the source. Next source is NCAP Annual Report 2011-12. That is, so here also we give the figure number, so table number. So remember here table number. If you have figure, if the table is interpreted by means of this table, we give figure number here. Figure number here. That is figure distribution of area under cotton across different spaces. So this is the table. This is the figure. So this is table. This is figure. This is figure. So here we give the source. We give the source, table number, and it is to be depicted in the figure like that. So these are to be very very important in preparation of thesis. Next one is precautions in report writing. Precautions in report writing. So it should be accurate and written in simple language. Simple language. It should be comprehensive, systematically organized, and easy to understand. So the report should be a story. Report should be a story by step by step, step by step, step by step. And it is too long nor too short. So it should be neither too long nor too short. Some of them said the report should be 100 pages, the report should be 1000 pages, the report should be 250 pages, like that. No, quantity is not required in the report. The report should be qualitative, it should be neither too long or not too short. A clear picture of the situation, past, present, and future should be emerges from a good report. So, clear picture is to be given. It may indicate what action is to be taken, who shall do it, and how. So this is also to be mentioned in the report. Next one is a good report should be able to be sustain readers' interest. Break up your text into smaller sentences and paragraphs. So it is to be readers friendly and understandable. Readers friendly and understandable, and that's why we have to divide the report into smaller paragraphs and smaller sentences. So then frequent phrases keep readers interested. Use headings and subheadings to organize the text by main idea. So this is also to be made. So use headings and subheadings uh, for entire report. Next, limitations of the report. Limitations like paucity of time, resources, methodological constraints, and other aspects in relevant sections of the report. So this is we leave it. Next, another one is so here we with a little time we go for two blocks. So there is another block is there, that is OR operation research. So here it includes decision tree, transportation models, and inventory control, game theory, etc. are there. Uh, so this is purely mathematics thing. So for it is also a vast subject. So by this time, it is not to be taken. Time is very sharp, I think. So we go for material, inventory management, management and OR. So differences between inventory and OR. Next, decision making under risk. These are all discussed in earlier. Decision tree analysis. This is pure statistical items. Next, transportation models. Here we have two techniques, that is ERP and CPM techniques. ERP and CPM techniques. So there are various other techniques also. Games theory, distribution, transshipment problems. That to be practiced. So if there is any mathematical student, so we can easily understand it. By this short time, it is not possible to explain. We covered 2 units as well. Next, next is yes, inventory control. So inventory includes raw materials, work in progress, and finished goods. So here there are different techniques. What is inventory control methods are EOQ. Next, fixing of stock levels, fixing of stock levels. Next, perpetual inventory system. Next, VED analysis, ABC analysis. So there are different techniques. Inventory control, fixed order quantity techniques. Next to ABC analysis. So the materials are divided into three categories. That is A, B, and C, which is more costly, used less, which is less cost, used more. Then the B is moderate, so that is called ABC analysis. Next, fixing the stock levels. That is reordering level, minimum level, maximum level. So by fixing these, we can control the inventory. We can control the inventory. So there is another type, that is game theory and network analysis. So here in material management, inventory control, ABC analysis is very, very important. EOQ, economic order quantity. By economic order quantity, we have to ascertain which we can make the orders. First order with having expenditure of so and so, expenditure of maintaining costs, so etc. to be considered. But whereas in EOQ, we follow square root of formula is there, square root of 2ds by h. EOQ formula, quantity arrived using the formula leads to optimum cost. Optimum cost means minimized inventory cost. So here see, determine the optimal number of packaging bag to order. D, 1000 units. S, 10 rupees per order. H is equal to 0.5 per unit. So by this EOQ is ascertained 2 into dx by h, 2 into d units into s by, so 200 units is the optimum inventory. Optimum inventory. So in how many orders it is to be done means 1000 by 200. So we can make 5 orders. So that is economic order. That is economic order. So that is economic order quantity. So under this, the costs are minimum. The costs are minimum. So that is very, very important in the inventory management, inventory control, inventory. So here also there are fixed order quantity system. Next to ABC analysis, PED analysis, and etc. Program evaluation and review technique, PERT, and a critical path method. Critical path method. So these two are also very important because so we simply one or two lines you can give it. PERT is abbreviation as Program Evaluating Review Techniques. Is a sophisticated mathematical techniques developed in the year 1958. 1958 by Allen and Hamilton under the U.S. Navy's Polaris submarine project. So this technique is used first in 1958 by Allen and Hamilton. At the same time, critical path method was also formalized by a group of employees of DuPont and UNIVAC division of Sperry Rand. So these two are comes in same way. PERT is the scheduling tool, essentially a network of project activities showing estimates of time necessary to complete each activity. So there are, this is a network to network activity, network activity. So here, if we see the diagram, if you see the diagram, so we can get it. So if you see the diagram, so there are different activities which is to be completed earliest. That is very, very important. So important. Project activity showing estimate of time necessary to complete each activity and the sequential relationship of the activity that must be followed to complete the project. So that is very, very important. Next one is, hello, sir. Hello. Hello, sir. Hello. 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 Hello.
Yes, sir.